do Chazar yesterday? You listened to the recording? You missed it. You missed everything. Okay, we're going further. Boy Rava, the end of the line. See where it is? Right here. Boy Rava. Rava asked the question. The train keeps on moving, as they say. Boy Rava, Mikra Megillah umet mitzvah. Hai minayu adif. Right? If you have Mikra Megillah, you have Mikra Megillah, reading the Megillah, and you have Met Mitzvah, you have a dead body that no one can take it, that no one is there to bury, right?
It's like a question.
Yeah.
Which one is going to be greater?
Hai minayu adif. Which one is going to push away what? Meaning, if you have the mitzvah, we know mitzvah Mikra Megillah pushes away Talmud Torah, it pushes away avodah in the Beit HaMikdash. We said in right, Talmud Torah pushes away in certain instances. So what if you have the mitzvah of Mikra Megillah? It's Purim morning or a Purim night, and you also have a Met Mitzvah. You have a body that needs to be attended to, that needs to be buried. Which one is going to come first? Hai minayu adif. Which one is going to be, like, which one is greater? Which one is more important?
So far, like, the mitzvah was usually more important.
Yeah, so let's see. So the Gemara says, Mikra Megillah adif. Mikra Megillah can be better. The Gemara is going to speak out both the tzaddim, both the sides. Mikra Megillah adif mishum persumei nisa, because of persum hanes, because of publicizing the miracle. Is that meaning we know that Mikra Megillah, the whole idea of Mikra Megillah is why? In order to publicize the miracle. Persume Nisa. Persume Nisa means to publicize the miracle. Persume Nisa. Publicize the miracle. Publicize the miracle means we want to show the whole world and ourselves what happened on Purim. That's the whole idea of Purim, of what do you call it? That's Persume Nisa. So maybe that idea of Persume Hanes is so powerful that will even push off the mitzvah of Met Mitzvah. Will even push off the mitzvah of Met Mitzvah in order to do Persum Hanes, right? That's option number one. Or Dilma, or maybe Met Mitzvah adif. Met Mitzvah is more important. Mishum kavod habriot, because of the respect of the dead body. Kavod habriot, the respect of human beings, respect of creations literally means, but over here it means respect for the dead body. It means respect for the person. The person's sitting there. There's no relatives to bury the body, and that should come first. Even though we have a mitzvah of Persum Hanes, of Kriyat Megillah, but it's Kavod HaBriot. Kavod HaBriot, Hashem wants a person to be taken care of. So Kavod HaBriot will trump that. Kavod HaBriot literally means, like a bird said, is the kavod, the honor of the creations. The kavod of the creations is the basic decency to bury a person, not to let him sit over there. So those are the two tzadim. The Gemara answers, Batar dimibaya, after he had the question. Batar means after dimibaya he had a question. Hadar pashta, he got the answer. So he had a question and he got the answer, basically. Batar dimibaya asked it, after he asked it, Hadar pashta, he had the answer.
How does Hadar pashta mean he got the answer?
Hadar, he came pashta to the answer.
Pashta means like pshita, no?
Pshita means it became clear to him. He had a question, now it became clear to him. Yeah, same lashon, yeah. Hadar, like it returned.
Hadar means to beautify.
No, Hadar means, it can also mean to return, to come back. Hadar over here means like he came to the pashti, to the answer. So Batar Mibai, after he had the question, Hadar pashti, he came to the answer. That what? Met mitzvah adif. Met mitzvah is more important. Why? The Amar Mar, because Mar means our master said, our rabbi said. Gadol kavod habriot. Kavod habriot is so important, it's so powerful, it's so strong, it's so big. Gadol kavod habriot shedoche et lo ta'aseh shebat Torah. It's doche a lo ta'aseh. It's doche a mitzvat lo ta'aseh. Meaning, and we'll explain what that means in Rashi, but let's just translate the words first. It's Gadol kavod habriot. Kavod habriot is so great that it pushes away. Shedoche pushes away a lo ta'aseh of the Torah. A don't do of the Torah. What does that mean? Rashi explains that if there's a mitzvah not to look over a lost object, there's a lav. You're not allowed to look over. If you see a lost object, you're not allowed to look away. There's an isur to look away from a lost object. Do not look away from a lost object. That's a lo ta'aseh. Lo ta'aseh means don't do it. Aseh means to do it, right? So there's a lo ta'aseh, don't look away if you see a lost object. But then the Torah says, the Gemara learns out, that if you have a rabbi or if you have an elderly person, and it's beneath his dignity to go and pick it up, go into the, let's say, the garbage and everything to pick up the item, he can look away. Because of what? Because of kavod habriot, because of honoring the rabbi or the elderly person. So you see that kavod habriot is so powerful that it's even able to push away a mitzvah. There's a lav, you're not allowed to look away. For kavod habriot, we allow you. So kavod habriot is so powerful that it's able to push away a lotase. For sure, it's going to push away a mitzvah midrabanan of Megillah. That's the Gemara's understanding. Since kavod habriot can push away a deoraita, right? What's the deoraita? A person has a mitzvah a person has an avirah to look away, to not ignore a lost object. Don't ignore a lost object, but kavod habriot, you can ignore it. So for sure, when it comes to a mitzvah midrabanan of kriyat Megillah, it's not going to be pushing away the kavod habriot of burying the body. Fine, that's the back and forth. Again, so we had a question: what's more important, mikra Megillah, meit mitzvah? We spoke of the tut stadim, mikra Megillah because it's pursuing Isa, meit mitzvah because of kavod habriot. We said kavod habriot is more important because kavod habriot pushes away even a lotas, even a mitzvah doraita, a lav doraita. So for sure, it's going to push away the mitzvah midrabanan of Megillah. Next, clear? So there is good. Okay, gufa. Gufa, it was stated above. Gufa means it was stated above. Gufa, it was stated, it was taught already. We're going to quote something that we learned a daf ago actually, one daf ago, 1 page ago. We're going to quote something that we learned 1 page ago. Gufa, it was stated above. Amar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi says, Krach, a wall, in this context we said it's a walled city. A walled city. Usually krach just means a city, but over here it means a walled city. Okay, we had this earlier, this should ring a bell if we did Chazara. Krach, a walled city, v'chol ha-samuchlo, anything that's near the walled city, v'chol ha-nir'eh imo, anything that can be seen from it and can be seen with it, right? Can be seen as being part of it. Kol nir'eh imo, anything that's be seen as being part of it. Nidon has a status kikrach of a walled city. Remember we said this? That's how we said Yerushalayim. They read in the 15th. Why? The whole Yerushalayim doesn't have a wall, but the old city has a wall, and all these cities that are next to that are all connected to Yerushalayim, to the old city of Yerushalayim. So that's this idea. That's this halacha. Amar B'Shua ben Levi, krach, a walled city, v'chol samucha, anything near it, v'chol nirei imo, anything can be seen from it, is nidon krach. So now we're going to explain these words. Samuch, nireh. What do these words mean? So Tana, it was taught. Tana, it was taught. Samuch, near, meaning close by. Af al pi, ayin aleph, ayin pei, af al pi. Even though she'enu nireh, it's not able to be seen. If it's close, even if it's not able to be seen, it's still going to be considered part of the walled city. We'll explain how you can have something that's close and not able to be seen. Usually, if I'm close to something, I'm able to be seen, right? If I'm close to you, you see me, right? So what does this mean? I'm close, but you can't see me. Where can you have a case where you have a city that's right next to another city, but it can't be seen next to the other city? So that's what we're saying. We're saying samuch apapi she'enu nireh. Samuch means even if it's not in being able to be seen next to the city, but it's close enough. That's why the idea of samuch and nireh. Nireh apapi she'enu samuch. You can have.
Where does the teaching stop? She'eno nireh, like
Comma. Samuch apapi she'enu nireh. Comma. Nireh apapi she'enu samuch. You also have the opposite extreme. You have the idea of being seen even if it's not close, right? So how can you see something if it's not close? It's you can see it at a distance. Okay, we'll see the example right now. But you have both. The reason why Rav Yeshua ben Levi spoke at both variables is because you can have both variables by themselves. You can have a case of samuch and you can have a case of near. You can have a case of nearby, and you can have a case of being seen. You don't have. They're independent. They're not. You don't. He didn't say you need to have samuch v'nireh. He said samuch, anything that's samuch and anything that's nireh. The Gemara is saying you can need either one, either samuch or nireh. You're good. You don't need both. That's the Gemara saying. Okay, let's read it together. Let's read it one more time. Tana, it was taught samuch if it's next to it, afapi even though she'enu nireh it's not seen. Nireh if it's seen, afapi she'enu samuch. So now the Gemara says, Bishlama, I understand. Bishlama, I understand. Yeah, you see where we are? Yeah. Bishlama, I understand. Nire, afapi she'enu samuch. I can understand a scenario where something can be close, but it's not. Something can be seen even though it's not close. What can that be? Mishkachadla, I can find it. Meaning mishkachadla, I can have a case. Mishkachadla, I can have a case. Kigon, for example, diyatva, it's sitting birosh har, on the top of a mountain, right? If If it's sitting on the top of a mountain, right, it can be seen even though it's not so close, right? If you have a walled city sitting on top of a mountain, and then you have another city which is being able to be seen, if you're on top of a mountain, I can see very far. So I can see that even though it's not so close, right? The city that's not, because I'm on top of a mountain. So if I'm on top of the mountain, I have a very, very long view of cities. So even though it's not really so close, I can still see it. So that scenario I can understand. Vishlam anira alpha pishenu samach mishkachadla. We can find the case. What would be the case? Kigon, for example, diyatva. It's sitting. Diyatva. It's sitting. Berosh on the top. Hahar of a mountain. On the head of the mountain. You have the walled city sitting on the head of the mountain, and then you have other cities that are sitting on the lower part of the mountain, so they can be seen even though they're not close to the walled city. So I understand that. But the Gemara asks, Ella rather samach afa pish enu nire. How can you have a case where it's close by, but it can't be seen? How can it be close by and not see? Right? Me and you are close by, right? Rochelle, I see you, right? How can it be I'm close to you and I don't see you? I'm right next to you, right? So how can it be some? That's the Gemara's question. How can you have a case of some chav b'sheinu nira? Heichi mishkachadla.
You have a natural barrier between them, like the mountain between.
Very good. That's the Gemara's answer. Beautiful. Chazak Baruch Hu. Mecham to the Gemara. Beautiful. So heichi mishkachadla. How do you find it? It's going to be similar to what you're saying. So again, the question is, Ela samach af b'sheinu nira. Samach means next to it, even though it's not seen. Heichi how mishkachadla. How are you going to have a case like that? How are you going to find a case like that? Heichi how? Heichi how mishkachadla. How are you going to find the case? That's a question. After la, the word la, you can put a question mark if you want. The Gemara's answer is Amar Yirmiyah sheyoshevet bin nachal. It's sitting in a valley. Beautiful, right? If you have a walled city sitting in a valley, what does that mean? How does a valley like this, right, guys? A valley. If the walled city's here, I can't see anybody on the right and on the left because I have a mountain on the right and on the left of me, so I can't see the city. The city can be right here, but I can't see it because I'm on the bottom. My view is vision. My vision from the walled cities here, and the two and all cities right here. I can't see it. It's right there though. So that's an example where you can have basically the opposite. If you're on top of a mountain, you can see very far. That's near alpha bisha eno samach. And the other extreme is when you're on the bottom of the mountain, when you're in between the two mountains, where you're right next to you. There's another country, there's another city, but you can't see it because it's blocked by the mountain. So it's samach alpha bisha eno nira. So now we have a scenario of nira, we have a scenario of samach, we have all the scenarios. Beautiful. Let's do a little bit more and we'll stop. Okay, we'll do chazara. Close by. No, nira means to be seen, and samach means to be close by. Yeah, write that in. That's important. Samach means close by, nira is seen. Yeah. Okay. Clear?
There's one, they should be order, but they should also be different days. So which part do you want to prioritize?
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, can we go further? A little more, yeah, another 4 minutes. Vam Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi says, Karach, a walled city. I'm sorry, a city right now. No more walled city. Now, it's a city. A city, Karach, a city, yeah? Sheyashav, that was first inhabited, it was first settled. Like a lashon of yeshiva, they were sitting. People lived there, and then ulubesof at the end, after people already lived there, hukaf, they put a wall around it. So you understand the scenario? You have a city, no wall. People started living there. People moved in, and then they decided, we want protection. We're going to build a wall now. So what's the halacha? Is that considered a walled city, or that's considered an unwalled city? The wall only came after. Understand? It wasn't like they built the city, they built the wall, and then people moved in. They built the city. People moved in, and then like, you know what? Let's build a wall.
It depends if it was before the time of Yeshua.
What?
I think it depends if it was before the time of Yeshua.
Okay, so the Gemara, Rashi actually learns this Gemara is not talking about Megillah. It's talking about another halacha, which okay, we'll just explain that. We'll learn the Rashi. Rashi learns this Gemara is talking about there's a halacha about walled cities when they can be redeemed. If a person sells a property in a walled city, the Torah and end of B'chukotai, Bahar B'chukotai over there talks about being. If it's a walled city, it has a certain status. There's an unwalled city, it has a certain status. You remember this? We had it comes with the Torah. So that halacha of a walled city over there has certain qualifications, and if it has its own city, it has other qualifications. So if you have a city, a krach, a city that was unwalled, sheyashav, you will live there, and then ulbesof hukaf, at the end you put a wall. It's nidon kikfar. It has a status of a village. Now Rashi learns not regarding Megillah, regarding that halacha of walled cities, redeeming a walled city, which you have either a year, a 2 year, whatever. There's the whole process. You cannot redeem it for the first year. You could redeem it. You only have 1 year to redeem it. If you look over there, you'll see exactly. I don't remember on top of my head what the halachot are, but there are halachot regarding a status of a walled city that you redeem, that you buy. It has certain limitations slash leniencies, so to speak. So if you have a city that was yashav, and then it was l'besof hukaf, it has a nidon. Nidon means it has a status kikfar of a village. So how do we know that?
So by village you mean
Not a walled city. Not a walled city, because the wall only came after. And the Gemara asked my time, Memtad. You see where we are?
Yeah, can you just do it one more time?
Yeah. Vam Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, krach, a city, sheyashav, that people first settled there, ulebesof hukaf, and at the end you made a wall. Hukaf, wall, yeah. Mukafin choma, same word. Nidon, it has a din of a kfar. Nidon, you see where it is? Nidon kikfar, it has a din of a kfar. My time, a memted means my time, like we saw already a bunch of times. My time, what's the reason why that's true? Dichtiv, like it says in the pasuk, about a house that's sold in a walled city. Ve'ish, a man, ki yimkor, when he sells, bait, a house, moshav, that it was settled, ir choma, with a wall. So we're learning out from the fact that the pasuk puts, when a man sells a city in a settled city with a wall, that shehukaf, it first had a wall, ulbesof yashav, and then people live there. Which means the first qualification is that the wall has to be the first. Shehukaf, first it has the wall, and then ulbesof yashav. Because Bayit Moshav Ir Choma is a house that you settled in that has a wall when you settled in it, not later. Bayit Moshav Ir Choma means a house that I dwelled in while it has a wall, not that I dwelled in there and then the wall came. That's the Gemara saying. Sheukav, first there was a wall around it. Ule Besof, and at the end, Yashav, you lived there. Velo Yashav, not that you lived there, Ule Besof Hukaf, and then the wall came. Okay, we'll stop by this word, by the word Hukaf. You got the limud? You got the limud, Baruch Hashem? Bayit Moshav Ir Choma. Why is the Torah emphasizing it's a house that you're dwelling in that has a wall? To tell you that when you dwelled in there from day one, it has to have a wall. Not that you lived there and then you built the wall later. It has to be from day one. Okay, this is again not related according to Rashi to the halachot of Megillah, but it's another halacha from Rav Shua ben Levi and to do with wall status of a walled city.
Can you just do the first half of that sentence one more time?
The ish ki imkor, a man that will sell a bayit, a house, moshav, that's settled in a walled city, ir choma, a walled city. So the Gemara says that what that means. Okay, we have to do chazar right now. We have like 5 minutes. Let's go.
What do the next two words mean?
Velo sheyashav, not that you live there and then you put a shehukaf, you had a wall, and then ulubasov, and at the end you live there, meaning the wall came first. Yeah, comma. Velo sheyashav, not that you live there and then ulubasov hukaf, then it has a wall. Okay. Okay. Let's pause the video.